everybody to Cup with Gup on this Monday of the Masters Week 2021-2022 PGA Masters. Looking forward to it. Smash Factor came out yesterday. We had a little time today to get the updated stats from Valero, which not a lot of guys played in it, but kind of bring all that together, put new stats out, look at the new betting boards. Some reshuffle. Sometimes I don't reshuffle a ton, but there's a little bit there that caught my eye. So I'll go through kind of course weather update, some updated DK thoughts. Very little on that as tomorrow's pod. Probably come out in the evening as well. Maybe earlier. Maybe I can do it at lunch or something. We'll focus more on deep dive, updated DraftKings stuff. But I will talk some DraftKings here. Look at a little early ownership look. Talk about the betting board. And I'm going to do a little bit about contest selection. If you guys have more questions after that, hit me up on that, and I will talk about that tomorrow on the pod as well. Then we'll kind of get out of here. Short pod, probably 15, 20 minutes, something like that. Just want to get a little update, talk a little Tiger Woods as well. Of course, if you'd like to join us right now, Masters gets you 30% off. Any package includes a 7-day risk-free trial. Anybody that signed up February 1st or later or upgraded gets thrown into a drawing. I will be giving away some form of $555, maybe it's $500 or $600 milli tickets, something for the PGA Championship. We'll see how the contests are structured for it, but you will get that. Then the runner-up will get GC gift pack that includes items from the Masters, as well as some Gups Corner gear, swag, and probably a little bit of DK money as well. We'll get you guys something on that as well. 3 giveaways will be either tomorrow on the pod or Wednesday morning on the Final Thoughts pod. I need to see how the contests look at filling up. It may be tomorrow, so I'd go ahead and get in now. Rate and review us on iTunes. I will pull all of those. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Like the video. And in the comment section, tell me who you want to play in the 9K range. I'm going to give away 2 $100 Milli Maker tickets on either tomorrow's part or Wednesday. I wouldn't wait. I'd go ahead and get that done. That'll get you into the drawings. And those will be for just whoever does those 2 things. Rate and review on iTunes, subscribe, like the video on YouTube, plus give the comment section. Tell me your 9K range. I'll pick winners from that. We'll get the week started there. We'll be doing tons of giveaways over in the GC Warrior Room per usual. Listener League winner last week, Luke412. Didn't get to talk about that yesterday on the Smash Factor. Everything else I did normal Smash Factor. So if you want to go check that out, the Sweet 16, all that stuff, I did that per usual. He had 493 points. Siwoo, Woodland, Strillman, Mito, Fratelli. I would say all of those were in my pools last week. I just didn't get the right combo, but he did go Matt Jones, and that's a guy that definitely got talked up a little bit last week. I did not get on him, so that's a great lineup by Luke 412. Sent him the invite for the big season-ending League of Champions deal. The link for this week's is in the description. 500 spots this week. We're over halfway full. 1K to first place. 3 max per usual. Get in there now. Let's fill it up so we can keep growing that, especially as we head towards the PGA Championship, which will be in my home state in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where both of my baby boys were born. Looking forward to getting up there plenty of that week and checking out some golf. I will probably take them on Monday or Tuesday. I'd like to do the practice round. I may do Tuesday. I can't remember what tournament's right before it, but I know some guys fly in later, and so maybe we'll get to see more guys on the Tuesday. Weather pending, stuff like that. PGA has a pretty good program there where I think you can take 4 kids under 17 with every paid adult. So that's pretty cool for free, the kids. So looking forward to that. That'll be fun. Course weather update. It's going to be nasty tomorrow. I said that earlier. We just got pounded by a system last night, all day today. Tons of rain. I assume it's the same system that's moving east to here that'll hit Georgia. Could be very limited practice tomorrow. Wednesday looks a little better. I think some afternoon tee storms. Hopefully it doesn't conflict the par 3. We'd like to see that up and going again. Thursday's rain looks less and less, but we will see some wind. The average winds so far don't look horrible. 10, 15, 16, which will, it'll still hamper. Now you'll see some things that say gust 25, 30, but I think the wind's going to be there, but I don't think it's going to be crazy. And after that, just if there's a slight chance of rain Thursday morning, if that hits, we'll know more come Wednesday night on that. But After that's gone, there's no more rain in the forecast. So I don't see any delays, anything like that. We will know as it sits by the time we get to Wednesday night as far as is there a good wave advantage. I don't see one right now. That could change. We'll get closer to that. The closer we get to the Wednesday night, the better on that one. Updated thoughts on DraftKings. Again, I'll go more into this on the deep dive tomorrow, but Spawn is added. He's $6,700. Tiger, 8,500. Looks like he's going to play. All signs, everything you saw today. On him, I think contest, where you're at, where you're wanting to get leverage. Does the price make sense? Starting to hear little whispers of, man, he looks phenomenal, looks tremendous. Yeah, it's tough. I had him in 2019. Not many did. Had him winning. Was my pick to win. Had him plenty of DraftKings. Did well. Different situation, though. Definitely he was coming in with something. He wasn't just out of nowhere 17 months. But I do think he's been playing a little bit, enough to where he feels good about it. The 8,500, the good thing about it, if you're talking about game theory, is it will keep some people off, especially if you're talking 1 to 3 max stuff, higher dollar stuff. Probably the biggest decision for me would be like, I plan on doing the $100 milli. I want a ticket for the 4444. So I'll be in there. Probably no chance I do Tiger in that. I only have one bullet, but if I was maxing that or something, some of those guys do, it's crazy to me, but maybe they would just to get that leverage. With one ticket in there, no way. The $100, let's say I do 50 in that, something like that. I could think about it because I think he'll be lower owned in something like that than he would like the $15 or, a $1, 150 max, stuff like that. If you go on him, I think it'll be to your advantage to make sure it's worth it. Like I wouldn't just do it just to say you got him and you're even with the field or something like that. Ownership's going to be interesting. Definitely see what happens in the next, 48 hours on that, 24 hours. I'll continue updating my stuff. And then who he's around is another deal for me, so, cause it's really not the entire field you're looking at. It's who else would people go to? So Lowry, $300 more. Burns, who's been a hot, commodity already talked about. Scott's been talked about a lot. Sungjae, not so much. Tiger, obviously 8,500. Finau, 400 less. I don't know if that's in the same category. Maybe. Gooch, a couple hundred more. I can see Tiger, being people going, I'll take a chance on Tiger over a new guy, Gooch. I think more would probably play Usti at 400 more, but there's not many. I think this range is going to be somewhat low owned dead-ish anyways. Probably the biggest question to me is, the two guys I see him potentially pulling a little bit away would be Niemann, Burns, Tiger, and then, maybe Sungjae a bit, but I don't think Sungjae's coming in with a lot of heat this week. I think Niemann and Burns are going to be popular, and that's a question to go, out of the chute. Yeah, I'd probably rather have, I'd rather have Niemann or Burns, but we'll see as this next 24, 36 hour goes. I do think the contest you're deciding to play him in and how leveraged you want to be on him is key there. And how leveraged you are in that contest. We'll get to that in a second. But if you're already shorthanded, say it's 150 max, let's say it's the dollar or 50 cent mini max, whatever. And you're only putting 20 lineups in. Well, it's not going to do you any good to say I got 10% Tiger. Let's just say he's going to be 10% because you're already under leverage. And I don't know if that's a smart decision there. And we'll talk more about that here in a minute, a little bit. And that's something that me and Kenny spent a lot of time on Elon as well when we do get together on Wednesdays, which we will this week. Early ownership look for me. Top 5, no specific order right now. Connors, Cam Smith, John Rahm, JT, and Brooks. None of that really surprises me. Betting board refresh, these always just come together, right? You have, I don't have a lot of futures. I basically had 3 that are locked in, and I released one more yesterday that's parlayed with the game tonight. So potentially 4 kind of pre-reshuffled numbers. And then I'll add a few, I don't know, 2 or 3 more. Maybe we'll see how that all works out. I have hit 4 of the last 5 winners on the card. Had Sergio, Tiger, DJ, and then Matsu last year. Definitely feels like a little bit tougher year. You know, a lot of options up there, right? And that's going to be the thing in DraftKings as well. You know, how do you differentiate your, not only yourself, but these guys from each other to go, this is why I like this guy more than that guy. Cause it's really going to be splitting hairs in those top 15 to 20 guys up top. Guys that kind of caught my number this morning, I've seen Cantley and Xander 25-1 in different spots. Don't know if I get there, but I like those numbers. I've seen Burns as high as 50-1. Neiman 65-1, and then Rory 20-1. Because I kind of feel like, you know, what if Rory made the cut last week in top 10, something like that? Would he be 20-1 this week? Let's say he looked good but didn't get the deal done. It's not like he's been playing horrible this year. It just hasn't looked good as of late, or maybe, you know, latest or greatest type of deal. I don't know if I can get to the 20-1, but that number did pop to me, you know, when I took a look at it. Yeah, if there wasn't just a gut feel play you wanted on the refresh, this is a great week to kind of wait, let it marinate a little bit to tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, as guys will pick up steam. Maybe the guy you have eyed will shift a couple points, you know, drift a little bit. If you're just not in love with somebody, it's okay to wait. I haven't added a lot to my card. Mainly, I'm waiting to see what happens with the parlay I released. So we'll see how that rolls out. And then I got a couple guys that I'm eyeing as well. Contest selection for me. You know, I'd focus on the contest. I say this every week, but I certainly do think it does matter, especially this week, where you feel you can get full leverage or close to leverage on the field. You know, so if it's 150 max, you know, you'd like to be in 150. And also the matters the type of contest. So let's say, like I mentioned, the $100 millie. I'm probably not going to do more than 50 lineups in it. And I know there'll be guys that do 150, but I feel at 50 lineups, which is $5,000, a lot of money. I still have good leverage with everything I will do, and I know how to work through that. But I do that a lot. I'm very familiar with that kind of contest and how to work through that. You know, allocate some for Showdown. I think that's a good thing this week. I think this is a good week for Showdown. Not everybody nobody has the true strokes gain statistics, but I do think, you know, we still can have an edge. We have so much resources available on the masters.com, watching shots. We can go back and look at a few things if the person's willing to, and I will. You know, I'm doing the Showdowns this week, so I'll be digging in as much as possible, hoping for no delays overnight or anything. I don't think we'll see that at all, because that allows it to end, you know, whatever, call it 6, 7 o'clock, give it a good hour to go research. You know, so and you get more data. So if nothing else, you know, Sunday is going to be pretty big Showdown. So maybe you go, all right, I'm going to allocate 25%. So I know that if I'm dead or my theories didn't work out in Maine, there's going to be some good contests on Sunday, and I'll have a re-up. I'll have 3 rounds of data, and I'm ready to go. So that's something to think in the back of your mind. It's maybe something you don't do very often. This is one of those tournaments that we know we're going to watch every single day, especially Sunday at the Masters, no matter what. It's not like, no disrespect to Valero, Valspar, or any of those. It's the Masters. You're still going to be watching, so think of that up front so you know you have money allocated towards it. One thing I wrote down was, don't bite off more than you can chew in unfamiliar territory. Everybody's probably going a little bigger this week. That's fine. Make sure you're doing it in contests you're familiar with or you're comfortable with. Like, don't say, all right, I'm doubling my bankroll this week. That part's fine, but don't do it. And say you're a 20 max, 50 max, 50 lineup guy. Like, I wouldn't go up into, you know, a high dollar single entry if you're not used to building that way and competing in that deal, or a 3 max. Vice versa. You may not want to, maybe you only do 3 max and stuff. I don't know that I'd go put 100 lineups in the $15 millie as opposed to go play some higher dollar 1 to 3 max type stuff, or maybe the 888 where, you know, there's not a lot of total entries in there, so you don't have to max it out or anything. You know, I would tend to stick to what you're comfortable with building and stuff like that. I wouldn't get too far out of your box. If you do a little bit of everything, great. You know, that was my last note. Don't be afraid to diversify this week either. You know, maybe do some, I got a bigger bankroll. The first thing people think of when they're wanting to spend more is go up higher. Well, maybe you do try out the 150 max, whether it's a 50 cent and the dollar, and then do a $20 or 20 max $3, and then do, several of these listener leagues that have low or no rake. Mix everything up in there. Bigger pot still spent, but you're still staying around the things you're used to doing and being comfortable with. I think that's important. Doesn't mean you can't. I mean, if you want to go, hey, I'm spending more money this week. I'm going to put, a $200 single entry when I normally play, $20 one max or something, or $1.20 max. You certainly can. It's just advice that I kind of was writing down as I was thinking through stuff, because I think that would be huge in the way that you are used to constructing. It's definitely, we got top 50 in ties, the 10 rules out. I talked about that yesterday. You got 91 guys in the field with JJ and maybe 90 with JJ in, and I think maybe it's 90 with because Harris English is out. So, the 10 rule hasn't taken that much off of it. So, I do think you can still see, 25% 6-6s. Don't be surprised by that. That's not uncommon, but it doesn't take a whole lot of chalk. I say chalk, I don't think there's gonna be too much of just chalk because everything's so tight and flat in pricing. And there's no like clearing away, even when you look at betting odds, things are very tight besides a few spots. So, it doesn't take much for, last year, I think DJ, Rory, and Cantley all missed the cut. So it doesn't take a lot for that ownership still to get down quite a bit but mathematically going into it, we say, well, theoretically everything works out as it should be. And let's say there's 15 guys down below, you automatically cross out. You're really trying to, there's going to be a higher 6-6. I don't think that changes how we build by any means, but, I would make sure that, that's another reason I talk about, make sure the contest you get into, you can get as much leverage as you feel you need, whether it be 150 max. Maybe you're used to, there's some I do max out, but there's some I go, I've done the research, I pull the data, I see how many people actually max it. Sometimes it's higher dollar stuff or whatever. And I go, I'm comfortable doing X amount in this contest. And then looking at the payout structure, right? Like, what does 10th pay? What does 20th pay? So really, if you do well, is it a good structure where you can make some money back, or do you have to absolutely have that, 1% type lineup, 0.5% top lineup to actually do anything that's worth a dang? So I think all that matters, especially this week where sometimes you get googly eyes and you get so much analysis, you get so much stuff going on that last minute you just don't have a plan and you're not strategic with it, and you wind up rushing through decisions at the most crucial time in your building process. And I try to use every day to kind of put my puzzle pieces together. Whereas Wednesday, I'm just locking the puzzle in. I'm just finalizing it, sleep well, get up early, make sure there's no crazy DJ found on the stairs story, withdrawal type stuff, and we go. So don't want to keep the pod too long. One last reminder, I've said this on a few pods. If you are a PayPal subscriber, or you're one of the 2-year guys at the beginning, you should be getting or got some emails from us on some things. If you haven't, hit me up in Slack, GC Warrior Room, or if you don't get on the Slack, Twitter, or email me at support@gupscorner.com. I'll update you on those kind of things there. Nothing major, seamless stuff going on. Don't forget Masters, 30% off, free trial included, 7 days, no charge. Try us out this week. Tomorrow I'll do a deep dive pod where I look at everything kind of updated, looking at the deep dive with rolling stats, putting, course fit, course history, all that kind of stuff. Wednesday will be the final thoughts pod, and then I'll also do the live show with Kenny Kim, E9, per usual on our big shows. Looking forward to that as always. Hope you guys have a blessed Monday evening. I'm going to get off here, wrap up some stuff, hopefully go watch North Carolina win the national championship. Good luck to everybody out there. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks.